How are you? Today we are going to carry on explaining this part from Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, okay? We are going to read pages 18, 19, and 20. Let's start. Prepare your book, prepare your pen, and let's start. Can you remember the end of the last part that we have read together? Yes, asked, when April asked Buck to put some of the juice from the purple flower on Demetrius' eyelids. Why? To fall in love with Helena when he woke up, because he had pity on Helena, because Demetrius treated her badly. Okay? So he asked Buck to put some of the juice on Demetrius' eyelids in order to fall in love with Helena when he woke up. And he told the Buck that he would know Demetrius from his Athenian clothes, okay? And he would find Helena and Demetrius sleep near each other, okay? Not far. So, at that time, when Buck took the juice in order to put it on Demetrius' eyelids, at the time, Lysander and Hermia met in the woods and decided to start their journey, okay, because they were going to his aunt. And when they walked for some time, they felt tired and they decided to sleep for a while. And they slept near to each other, okay? And when Buck saw them, he thought that Lysander was Demetrius, and he thought that Hermia was Helena, and he put some of the juice from the purple flower on Lysander's eyelids. Okay, let's see what will happen. Let's read together. Okay, let's start from here. And he naturally enough supposed that as they were alone together, she would be the first thing he would see when he awoke. So without delay, he poured some of the juice of the little purple flower into his eyes. But it happened that Helena, can you remember when Helena and Demetrius were talking together? As I told you before, that Demetrius treated her badly, and Helena told him sweet words of love. So Demetrius was cruel to Helena, and he went and told her not to follow him. But she tried to follow him, but she couldn't find him. So she was wandering alone or walking alone in the wood. While she was walking, she found Lysander lying on the ground. And she thought that he was, yes, he was dead, as I told you before. That what happened? Helena tried to touch him gently, and when Lysander woke up, he fell in love with Helena. That was a great mistake. Let's go on. But it happened that Helena came that way. And instead of Hermia, she was the first thing Lysander saw when he opened his eyes. And strange to say, so powerful was the love spell that all his love for Hermia disappeared. So when Lysander woke up, he forgot his love to Hermia, and Lysander fell in love with Helena. So here we have a question. Okay? What happened when Lysander woke up? Underline the answer with me. When he opened Hermia, underline. This is the answer of question number 1. Hermia was the first thing, underline. Hermia was the first thing Lysander saw when he opened his eyes. And strange to say, so powerful was the love spell that all his love for Hermia disappeared, and Lysander fell in love with Helena. So this is the answer of question number 1. Underline. This is the answer of question number 1. Okay? So, if he had seen, let's go on reading. Let's go on reading. If he had seen Hermia first, when he awoke, the mistake Buck made would not have mattered, since he could not love that lady too well. So, here he wants to say that if Buck didn't make that mistake, Lysander wouldn't fall in love with Helena, okay? So, but for poor Lysander to be forced by a fairy love spell to forget his own true Hermia, and to run after another lady, and leave Hermia asleep alone in the woods at midnight, was very sad. Okay, so when Lysander woke up and saw Helena and fell in love with her, he started to tell her some sweet words of love. Okay, and he forgot his love for Hermia and left Hermia sleeping and ran after Helena. Okay, the misfortune happened in this way. Helena tried to keep up with Demetrius. طب how بقى؟ Helena tried to keep up with Demetrius when he ran away from her, as I told you so rudely. But she couldn't continue this unequal race for long, since men are always better runners in a long race than women. This means that men are faster than women. Okay, so Helena couldn't continue or couldn't find Demetrius because he walked and ran away. So Helena soon lost sight of Demetrius, and while she was wandering around in a sad and lonely way, she arrived at the place where Lysander was sleeping, as I told you. Okay? Ah, this is Lysander lying on the ground. Is he dead or asleep? So here we have a comment. Ah, here is Lysander lying on the ground. Is he dead or is he asleep? Okay, underline this comment with me. This is Lysander lying on the ground. Is he dead or asleep? Okay, so here, in order to answer or to write in this comment, we are going to say that this extract is taken from a play entitled Yes, A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. These words were said by Helena exactly to herself. Bravo. Helena to herself. When she saw Lysander lying on the ground or sleeping, she thought that he was dead. Then gently بقى تعالوا نشوف بقى what happened بقى. Then gently touching him, she said, "Good sir, if you are alive, awake." Okay, Lysander opened his eyes, and as the love juice began to work, immediately spoke to Helena words of the wildest love and admiration. He told her that her beauty was even greater than Hermia's. This is a proof that he forgot his love for Hermia, okay? And that he would run through fire for her. He was able to do anything for her. Of course, he was under the power of the spell. تحت سيطرة التعويذة السحرية. Helena, knowing Lysander was her friend Hermia's lover, and that he had promised to marry her, was very angry when she heard herself addressed in this manner. So here we have a question. Why was Helena angry? Why was Helena angry when Lysander spoke words of great love to her? Why? Why was Helena angry when Lysander spoke words of great love to her? Who can tell me? Yes, exactly. Underline the answer with me. Helena, Helena, instead of knowing, you are going to write knew. Helena knew that Lysander was her friend Hermia's lover, and that he had promised to marry her. Okay? That's why she was angry. She thought that, this is the answer, she thought that, underline the answer with me. This is the answer of question number three. She thought that she thought that Lysander was making a fool of her. Okay? So, because she knew that Lysander loved Hermia and told her that he would marry her, okay? So, she thought that Lysander was making a fool of her, okay? Let's go on. Oh, she said angrily, why I was born to be laughed at by everyone. Is it not enough? Is it not enough, young man, that I can never get a sweet look or kind word from Demetrius? Must you now, sir, must you pretend in this cruel manner to love me? I thought, Lysander, you were too kind for that. She ran away, and Lysander followed her, completely forgetting his own Hermia, who was still asleep. So in this comment, here we have a comment. Why was I born to be laughed at by everyone? Is it not enough, young man, that can never get a sweet look or kind word from Demetrius? Must you not pretend in this cruel manner to love me? Okay, so in this part, Helena told Demetrius that she was angry because he told her sweet words of love. Why? Because she thought that he was making a fool of her. Okay, and told him that was enough. That was enough for her, that she couldn't get just a sweet word from Demetrius. Okay, so underline this comment with me. Why was I born to be laughed at by everyone? Is it not enough? Is it not enough, young man, that I can never get sweet look or kind word from Demetrius? Must you now, sir, must you pretend in this cruel manner to love me? I thought, Lysander, you were too kind for that. Okay, so the answer of this comment, we are going to start with the introduction. This extract is taken from a play entitled A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. These words were said by Helena to Demetrius when he spoke to her some sweet words of love, and he forgot his love for Hermia because he was under the power of the magic. Yes. So Helena got angry and she thought that Lysander was making a fool of her. Okay? Now let's go on. When Hermia awoke بقى, let's go back to Hermia. When Hermia awoke, she was sad and frightened because, who can tell me? Yes, exactly, at finding herself alone, because she was alone, because Lysander left her and ran after Helena. She wandered through the woods, not knowing what had happened to Lysander, or which way to go in search of him. While this was happening, Demetrius, not being able to find Hermia, and his rival Lysander, his rival Lysander means his enemy, okay, اللي هو المنافس ليه, okay, and tried after his useless search, fell asleep and was found by Aperon. So Demetrius, as I told you, left Helena in the wood and ran after Hermia to look for her, sorry. When he went, he couldn't find Hermia. Okay, so he felt tired and slept. Operon saw him. Okay, Operon had learned as a result of some questions he had asked Puck that his helper had put the love juice in the wrong person's eyes, since Apiron had now found the person he had intended to help. He touched the eyes of the sleeping Demetrius with the love juice. The young man woke immediately, and since the first thing he saw was Helena. Yes, he, like Lysander before him, began to make loving speeches to her. Okay, in this part he wants to say that when Demetrius, okay, was seen by Apiron, Apiron asked back some questions, and he knew from these questions that he put the love juice. Yes, Buck made a mistake and put the love juice on the eyelids of another one. So Apiron put some of the juice on Demetrius' eyelids while he was sleeping. Okay, and as I told you here in this part, Helena left Lysander while he was running after her. She left him and told him that she was angry because she thought that he was making a fool of her. While she was walking back and running away from Lysander, she saw Demetrius. And Demetrius woke up. And the first one that he saw was Helena. So Demetrius fell in love with Helena too. Okay? So now Lysander and Demetrius fell in love with Helena. Then what about Hermia? Nobody loved her. Okay? Let's see. Okay, just at the moment Lysander made his appearance, followed by Hermia. Because of Buck's unlucky mistake, it was now Hermia's turn to run after her lover. Okay? دلوقتي Hermia was looking for Lysander. Then Lysander and Demetrius both speaking at the same time, and each in the power of the same strong spell, begged Helena to pity the strength of their love for her. Both Lysander and Demetrius spoke sweet words of love to Helena and asked her to have pity on their strong love for her. Okay? The shock Helena thought that Demetrius, Lysander, and her once dear friend Hermia had planned together to make a fool of her. Okay? So, Helena was angry because she thought that Hermia, Demetrius, and Lysander were making fun of her or had planned together to make a fool of her. Okay? But Hermia was as surprised as Helena. When Hermia walked in the woods, she found Lysander and Demetrius. She found them speaking sweet words of love to Helena. She was surprised, of course, okay? She did not know why Lysander and Demetrius, who had both loved her before, had fallen in love with Helena. Okay, here we have a question. Why were Helena and Hermia angry with each other? Underline the answer with me. Why? Why do you think? Yes, because Helena was angry because Helena thought that Demetrius, Lysander, and her once dear friend Hermia had planned together to make a fool of her. Okay? But what about Hermia? Why was she angry? But Hermia was as surprised as Helena. She did not know why Lysander and Demetrius, who had both loved her before, had underline this answer. This is the answer of question number 5. Had now become Helena's lovers. Okay? And to Hermia, the affair seemed to be no laughing matter. بالنسبة لهرميا, she found that it wasn't a laughing matter. Okay? But she was angry because of that. The ladies, that's enough. This is the answer of question number 4. Okay? The previous question. Okay, let's go on. The ladies, who had always been the dearest of friends, now exchanged angry words. So now Hermia and Helena started to fight together, okay? Unkind Hermia, said Helena. It is you who have persuaded Lysander to trouble me with pretend praises. Yani, Helena wanted to tell Hermia that she persuaded or convinced أقنعت Lysander to make a fool of her dear friend Helena, okay? And your other lover Demetrius, who used to hate me, have you not told him to call me a heavenly goddess? يعني she asked her that she told her that she planned with Demetrius to make a fool of her too and told her some sweet words of love. Okay? He would not speak like this if you had not encouraged him to make a fool of me. Unkind Hermia, to join with men in laughing at your poor friend. Have you forgotten when we were school friends? So all these are the words that Helena told Hermia. Okay, underline, this is a comment. Unkind Hermia. No, we are going to start from It is you who have persuaded Lysander to trouble me with pretended praises, and your other lover Demetrius, who used to hate me. Have you not told him to call me heavenly goddess? He would not speak like this if you had not encouraged him to make a fool of me. Okay, unkind Hermia, to join with men in laughing at your poor friend. This is a comment, okay? So here we have a comment. He would not speak to me like this if you hadn't encouraged him to make a fool of me. Okay? So these words were said by Helena to Hermia when she told her that she had planned to make a fool of her. She had planned that with me, Demetrius and Lysander. Yes, exactly. Let's go on. Have you forgotten when we were school friends? How often, Hermia, have we two sitting on one seat, singing one song, with our needles sewing the same flower, both worked on the same cloth. We have grown up together like twins, and rarely been parted. Hermia, it is not kind of you to join with men in laughing at your poor friend. So all these comments, Helena tried to tell Hermia that she was angry, okay? طب what about Hermia بقى? What did Hermia tell her? I do not understand your angry words. Hermia, of course, didn't understand anything because she thought that it was Helena's fault, okay? I don't understand your angry words, said Hermia. I am not laughing at you. It seems, though, that you are laughing at me. Continue then, replied Helena. Helena told her that she can go on. Okay? Continue then. Pretend serious looks and make faces at me when I run my back. This means that when I give you my back, you will make faces at me. يعني التريقة عليا, okay? Then smile at each other. If you had any pity or manner, you would not treat me like this. While Helena and Hermia were speaking these angry words to each other, Demetrius and Lysander left them. Why? The young men went off to fight for the love of Helena. Yes, they went to find a place to fight in for the love of Helena because both of them loved Helena. The ladies found the gentlemen had gone and wandered in the wood once more in search for their lovers. Okay, so when they found Lysander and Demetrius went to find a place to fight, they couldn't find them and they went to search for them. Okay, As soon as they were gone, the fairy king, who with little Buck had been listening to their quarrels, Buck and Operon were listening to the quarrels, to the fight, okay, said to him, what did Operon say? This is your carelessness, Buck. Or did you do it purposely? Yani, this is your mistake. Or did you do it purposely? Purposely means قاصد. Okay? طب what about Buck? What did Buck say? Believe me, King of Shadows, it was a mistake. Did you not tell me that I would know the man from his Athenian claws? But I am not sorry for this happened. For this has happened. Because I am greatly enjoying their quarreling. As I told you before, Buck likes to make fool of people or play jokes or tricks. Okay? طب here we have a question. It was a mistake. Did you tell me that I would know the man from his Athenian claws? So you are going to underline this comment with me. It was a mistake. Did you not tell me that I would know the man from his Athenian claws? But I am not so sorry that has happened. Okay? So this is a comment. We are going to answer this comment. This extract is taken from a play entitled A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. These words were said by Buck, yes, to Operon. When Operon told him that he made a great mistake by putting the juice from the purple flower onto Lysander's eyelids instead of Demetrius' eyelids. But Buck told him that it was just a mistake. Okay? Now, your home assignment. Let's do it together. You are going to answer these questions and you are going to write the answers in your copybook, okay? And I'm going to see them inshallah next time. The questions and the answers. See you inshallah next time with my best wishes. Mrs. Wala Lashin. Bye bye.